17 not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian.
Good evening, fans of fantastic films, and welcome once again to the Drive-In Asylum double feature. I'm Bill Van Ryn from Fanzine Drive-In Asylum. And that'd be Sam Panico in the other box.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Of BNS About Movies.
That'd be me. How are you, Bill?
Oh, swell. I started watching this movie the other night and couldn't stop when I was putting the trailer together.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I always kind of hated this movie, but now I think I love it.
I love it.
Story of my life.
I see that Paul said, are they dumber than the people? These are the dumbest people that have ever been in a zombie movie.
Yeah.
If you're looking for any smart snipe, even from a professor, a noted professor, there is no brains in tonight's movie other than the ones that'll be eaten by the shambling masses of the undead.
The ghouls are smarter than the living people in this film, which is kind of a different approach for a zombie film. We were used to that. It's important to remember too. I said I hated it when I first saw it, but this was back when it was the mid 80s, I guess, when I saw this on VHS, because this was a must rent. Like anything that was zombie horror, that was definitely a must rent at the video store. So I know I rented this probably like 87 at the latest, and I was like, God, this is horrible. Like the dubbing is bad, the acting is ridiculous, of course, but I was comparing it to better movies, notably the two zombie movies at that point, 3, that had been directed by George Romero. And that it ain't.
It's kind of like whenever like a company, like a knockoff, something really famous comes out, like Xerox machine, then there's a knockoff of that, and then a knockoff. This is the one that you get for home. Wow, this background's amazing, by the way. I got knocked off course for a second. But this is like literally the most knock you offiest of the knockoff. It's like the next level of like from Romero to Fulci, maybe to Matai to this. But I like it for that. It's just ridiculous.
Paul says it's better than Dawn. Well, I don't know about that.
I'd say it's funnier. I don't know. Maybe it's in ways. I'd like to see him explain that, because I think in some ways, if you're looking at it for entertainment value, like it's definitely a more fun, lighthearted movie. Though there are the pie fights are fun in Dawn, but I like this movie a lot. So, and I'm
Me too.
Super excited that we're showing it. And also, this is the kind of movie that if you want to upset people that come to your house and have them leave, this would be a good one to put on, because there's numerous times in this movie. There's a lot of upsetting parts in this movie. Also, this is what I always say: if you're looking to an '80s Italian exploitation movie for any level of wokeness or people saying proper things, maybe you shouldn't be watching it. But that's okay. We'll all deal with it together. We'll get there. But yeah,
Mike says he thinks it's genuinely scary.
Yeah,
and I guess I can kind of see that, because this is definitely one of those films where the zombies aren't fast moving at all, but they are intelligent, which is very strange. And there's a couple of things. I mean, there's ridiculousness from beginning to end, but there are a couple of scenes that really stand out, including one scene that depends on a zombie being able to throw a spike and have it pierce somebody's hand and sort of like just pin them to a window so the zombies can attack and kill. And of course, the victim doesn't do anything to try and free their hand. They just kind of like stand there and scream and wait for the zombies to kill them, and they do.
I honestly don't know. We've shown a lot of different zombie movies on the show, and I really don't know another movie that has zombies of this level, of this look, and like it's its own creation. It's like there are no real rules to it. It's pretty great, and also like it starts like what. I have so many questions. Even I've watched this at least 20 times, right? Why are these people all coming to this house? Why? Someone already mentioned it. Why does the professor think he can be friends with the zombies?
Oh, I'm your friend.
Yeah.
The professor is barely even a character in this film.
He is for the reason they all try that everybody comes together, yet he barely matters.
They never even see him until he's a zombie.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat talk about they prefer slow moving zombies. I'm the same way, because I walk 2 miles a day and it's like I'm not gonna be able to outrun at any serious clip. Like those ones in 28 Days Later that are like all frenzied, those are the infected. Nightmare City zombies, I'm fine. I don't need those ones. You know what I mean? But the ones that are slow, I'm cool with those ones. I think part of me thinks I can get away from those.
If you're trying to be realistic, that's the only thing that makes sense, is that if there was some way that this corpse could be reanimated, that you would expect it to be slow and shambling. Although movies like, I think one fast moving zombie movie that is pretty scary is Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
They run in that movie, and you may think I'm wearing a Return of the Living Dead shirt tonight, but I'm not. Ha. The joke's on you. It's really a fake title, and it's actually Messiah of Evil. This ad is from Detroit.
Wow.
And that was one of the cities that Checker Releasing tried to get away with releasing Messiah of Evil under this title. And if you notice, the tagline says, when there's I was close to my sensitive zone. When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. And this was before Dawn of the Dead had been released in the United States. So they just jumped in front of them with their own tagline that they were going to use for their serious film. And it was no. They got an injunction and had to change the title to a bunch of stupid stuff like Revenge of the Screaming Dead. Talk about running dead. What about Screaming Dead? That would be really irritating.
I would hope that the dead could just at least be quiet. People are trying to sleep. They're just outside screaming outside your window. What are they doing?
I lived that for almost 20 years. I lived in the Mexican War streets.
Yeah.
There was screaming at all hours of the day in that neighborhood.
Yeah. I do like not the Return of the Living Dead shirt you're wearing, the Return of the Living Dead with Tarman a lot, because it's funny how many of the rules that the general public associates with zombies, that they eat brains and stuff, that comes from that movie. Yeah. And it's like, and it's way late in the game. And it's got great production design, obviously. It looks gorgeous. It's silly. The second movie is the same movie. Not as good. The third one's good. Let's not talk about the Rave one or the other ones. Like once you get past
Rave from the Grave.
Rave to the Grave, shot in any sequels in the 90s and 2000s for sci-fi that were shot on the other side of the former Iron Curtain, might not be good. Just saying, and that's coming from me, someone that really has no taste whatsoever. Though today, Bill, I watched Attack of the Beast Creatures. Have you seen this movie?
No, I haven't.
Holy shit, are you gonna love it? Imagine your little Zuni guy, your little guy from Trilogy of Terror. Imagine 100 of those living on an island, killing people that have no idea why they're there. It's really good. It's also got like murder drone music in it, so it really makes you feel like you're just falling asleep the entire movie, but awake and terrified. 200 stars out of 5. My review.
That's a high recommendation.
Yeah, I liked it. I think I hit it at the right time, but man, the music is like Casio-y, and it almost feels shot on video, but it's not. And it's there's a lot of scenes where you can tell that people are fighting these dolls, but they're not. They're like Bela Lugosi fighting an octopus fighting these dolls, you know. So there's a lot that I think we're probably gonna have to show it, because when I was watching it, I'm like, Bill's gonna love this movie. I watched 2 Bill movies today. The other movie I watched, and I'm wondering if you saw it before, The Strange Vengeance of Rosalie. Have you seen that?
Rosalie?
Yeah.
Yes, I have. I do like that.
Is that a Bill movie?
Well, I really can't remember much about it, but I just remember that it, had that thing that I love so much, that low budget, quiet sort of atmosphere to it.
It's
what
great.
I'm talking. Movies where nothing happens.
Yeah, it's like Bonnie Bedelia is very young, and you think that what's his name from The White Shadow? If anybody in our audience is under 35, they're gonna be like, "What? The White Shadow?" Is coming through their town, and he thinks he's gonna pick her up and just sleep with her, but then he gets pulled into this whole psychodrama with a biker. There's only like 3 people in the movie. It's very strange. I loved it. So cool. But anyway, Burial Ground, right? Let's country. Burial Ground's
well, we were talking.
Good.
We were talking about how it was scary to Mike Justice, and I think the idea of being overrun by these corpses is very effective in this film. There are a lot of zombies in it.
Yeah.
It's like the entire. Well, I guess it's kind of like Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the European Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things.
Yeah.
Especially the way the zombies are depicted, and with they're just basically masks, most of them.
Yeah.
As are the ones in Children. And it's sort of like, the special effects in this movie, I wouldn't say they're great, but they're very effective.
I like when people use a lot of oatmeal for like the dried oatmeal for the faces for zombies. This kind of has that feel to it. It's kind of like they saw a zombie and they're like, we can do this. And this is what they did. I
did that once. I used oatmeal and did like a zombie makeup and went to school for Halloween like that. And I almost got sent home because they thought it was so gruesome.
You remember the first time you made blood and you like read the Dick Smith recipe and you're like, oh yeah, I can put and as a kid, you're like, I can put corn syrup in this and it won't be sticky all day and smell.
Oh, there were unintended side effects. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good at catching flies too.
Yeah, it is. And just being stuck to you all day. Now you can put photo flow in it. You're a little kid, like, what is photo flow? I don't know what these things are. Just buy the dollar blood at the dollar store. But anyway, yeah, the other thing I like about this movie is like it really does feel like if you ate the wrong food at night and probably took a lot of drugs and fell asleep right before those drugs kick off. Yeah, and this would be the dream that you would have about zombies.
Yeah, this does have a very nightmare quality to it, especially since we've already said a number of times that things don't really make sense in this movie. But it's that weird dream logic thing that it does have going for it anyway. It is pretty creepy. I have to agree with Mike. It's scary. Although I laugh so much when I watch this movie that it's really not that scary to me.
I think another reason you might like it is there's a lot of titles for it too.
Why don't you talk about them? Because I'm not prepared to do that.
That's fine. They're La Noche del Terror, Nights of Terror, Zombie Horror, The Zombie Dead, and perhaps most confusingly, Zombie 3, because there's already a Zombie 3. But, the Italians, my people, really like to bring titles that confuse you. So that's one
Well,
of them.
wait, wasn't this the first Zombie 3?
Yeah.
Because it came before the actual Zombie 3.
The actual Zombie 3 that no one could agree of who made it.
Yeah.
And how much Lucio Fulci actually was involved. Zombie 3. But at least we can agree that he did the head in the fridge, which is the best part of the movie.
I always make that your avatar in this
I love you
show
so
credit.
much.
I didn't tonight. Did you even see who you were tonight?
I couldn't tell what movie that was from.
It's from a Emil Mascaras movie.
Oh, from Mummy's Day Guadaltaro?
I think that was the one. I found it on YouTube. And it's
awesome.
pretty awesome, by the way. There's like a weird narrator character that looks like one of the Blind Dead.
Yeah.
That's who that is.
The Mil Mascaras Mummy movies, there's like 2 or 3 of them. They're really good. And I just found a Mil movie from 1990 I didn't know about. It'll be on the site this week, and I'm super excited about it. And a movie with his nephew, too. Those will be on the site this week. Or maybe next. I watched way too many movies today, as you can tell. So it was pretty enjoyable day of walking and watching movies. I agree with Matt on this too. This is definitely an Electric Wizard movie. As is, I kind of like that. Like we've shown some really classy zombie movies. Like we've shown Living Dead at Manchester Morgue, which I would consider more of a classy movie. This is, if you were expecting any classy stuff. Yeah, as Mike said, the director of this movie, Andrea Bianchi, has made some great movies. He made Strip Nude for Your Killer, Cry of a Prostitute, which is, I would say, the sleaziest movie. One of the sleaziest movies I've ever seen. The poster for it is unbridled sleaze to get you into the theater. And he also did Maniac Killer, and Massacre, for some reason Full Moon on. Why? I don't know, but he did those 2 as well. And he also directed Three Ninjas, Knuckle Up. What? How did they give the Three Ninjas franchise to the guy that made Burial Ground and Strip Nude for Your Killer? Obviously, it was like the last movie in the series, and they were like, fuck it. We're just putting this out on video. But anyway, there you go. And Ed, I also love Hooded Menace because they did a sample from Twins of Evil, and that's how I discovered Hooded Menace. They're a Polish metal band, built, by the way.
Anything with Twins of Evil always gets your attention.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty great. Yeah, but I'm
a big fan of those twins.
I'm a fan of Andrea Bianchi. Yeah, there's also this movie. There's always like, why do the zombies exist? Is always a question that happens in these movies. And this kind of takes an Evil Dead tack where there's a curse that reanimates them. This isn't a scientific zombie story.
I never really understood that because it was sort of Zedder about how it had this weird zone where the dead came back to life. But he's down there and he's like chipping away at the wall. But they do show him back in his office looking at something. And he's like, only I know the secret. So what was the secret? Like, do we ever find out? Because I don't remember that.
No. It's kind of like in Dawn where they're like, you know what? We should just give you like 5 reasons why. Maybe it's a Saturn probe. Maybe it's something my grandma told me. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like it's a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, also my other favorite thing about this movie is, as you said before, the dialogue is ridiculous in it. But they refer to the couples in this movie as jet set couples, which I find hilarious. Like they're going all over the world and they're seeing the most fashionable places.
Wish we were jet set.
Yeah, Becca just yelled, "I wish we were jet set." We're not. And
no, then you'd end up at this manor and Burial Ground.
This horrible place with these people, and there's, and I can't believe we got in this long. Michael, who is in this movie, is one of the children of these people, and he is played by a 25-year-old person. He is creepier than any of the zombies, and when he becomes, spoiler for a movie that's made in the 80s, zombified later in the movie, he somehow becomes creepier, and his mother, there's a real Oedipal mother-son thing going on in this movie. It's very upsetting. Also, Mariangela Giordano, who was in The Sect, is in this. She plays Evelyn, and there's a scene, again, that makes absolutely no sense where this mansion really feels, Bill, you and I think have talked about this before. This mansion really feels like no one has been in this mansion for decades or maybe centuries. And she finds lingerie and she's like, I'm just going to put it on. What? Like, I've never, maybe, I don't know. Allow me to use my maleness for this. Sorry. But I've never seen a pair of underwear and said, I'm going to put these on just that I randomly find in a house. And her boyfriend says the absolute most sexist line, you look just like a little whore, but I like that in a girl. And if it's sparkling dialogue like that that's going to make this movie a
it
favorite.
Didn't seem to bother her too much.
Yeah, she loved it. Call me good girl, she said at the end.
She's a
and
freak.
Also like the Michael just walks in while his mom's nude and just stares at her in one of those scenes too, and he's just like kind of staring at her. It's weird. But yeah. Anyway, how are these zombies more evolved is another question I have than any other zombie. Like you said, they can use tools, they can solve problems. Like I would, man, it's weird. And like everybody kind of just gets shell shocked by this, you know?
Well, they certainly don't know what the hell to do. They have no plan in place. It's one of those things where they have no direction, so they're not able to fight back against these pretty slow and shambling corpses that seem to fall apart the minute you hit them. So it wouldn't be too difficult. I think at one point, one of the characters is fending 2 or 3 of them off with a big stick. She just keeps pushing them back. So I really don't understand how they manage to get themselves cornered all the time, but you know, it was in the script.
There's a lot of like Fulci just stare at death kind of moments in this. Like if I would like to think, you don't know until you're tested, right? But like I would like to think that if this happened to me, I wouldn't just go for like 3 minutes and just stare. But there's a lot of that in this. Also, I have 2 favorite things. Well, I have so many favorite things about this movie, but 2 of the many favorite things about this movie is one when Mariangela Giordano's character she becomes a zombie, and Michael's mom just starts smashing her head into the wall while she's screaming.
Leslie, you look what you did.
Yeah,
she's not even affected by the fact that she's a zombie. Well, see, we're talking about stuff in the movie before we watch it.
And then also, like Matt already said, like by the end of this movie, it somehow goes from being zombie to being a Blind Dead movie. Like it makes a full loop around. It becomes a Blind Dead movie, and that's everything. Like third and last things, I don't want to ruin everything. The prophecy of the Black Spider, which is what brings us about. I didn't know that prophecy was spelled with an F, but you'll learn a lot in this movie. It's the prophecy. The earth shall tremble, grave shall open. They shall come on the living as messengers of death, and there shall be the Knights of Terror. And Knights of Terror gets spelled wrong too. So
yeah, that's the most glaring thing. There's typos in the superimposed titles. So I don't know, what were they thinking? It's almost as if they didn't speak English.
Is someone that has to spell check all the time for his real job. I don't want to spell check while I'm watching this. Come on, Andre Bianchi, get it together. Like, put it on Grammarly. Let's fix it. But yeah. So
thanks to everybody for joining us tonight, by the way. And we remind you to click like on the video, and if you really like us, share. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much. If you haven't already, please click subscribe, because we could use some more subscriptions on our YouTube channel.
I was looking at the review I did for this, and I summed it up by saying this movie is a real piece of shit, but it's a real entertaining piece of shit. So I mean that as a compliment. And also, Bill, last thing before, I don't want to spoil too much, but I love the music in this movie. It's really it's like a Philip Glass kind of atonal, what is it doing kind of thing. So I really like that.
Let us know in the chat if this is the first time that you've seen Burial Ground. I can't imagine that everyone hasn't seen it, because this is one of those notorious zombie films, a big rental
Yeah.
It was always a popular rental
Hmm.
at the local video place because it was out a lot.
I do,
I think I rented it 2 or 3 times actually.
even though you didn't like it, you still kept
I
renting.
know. Well, there wasn't that much stuff to choose from,
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you had to go back and try it a second time. Like maybe this movie wasn't as bad as I thought.
You know what's funny is like I think tonight we've picked a movie that is absolute like carny, like exploitation, crass, like sex and violence. And then the second movie has like so much heart and emotion to it. They're really on opposite sides of the spectrum. Like the second movie has like romance and like it has a very sad ending and it's like really well, and it's like such a weird like dichotomy between them. So I'm really happy with that. And if so, I saw Jeff said, I don't think I've seen it. If you don't think you've seen it, you haven't seen it because you'll definitely remember.
Yeah.
It
It's like
also,
an orgasm, like you can't if you don't know if you had one, you didn't have one.
yeah, exactly. I know that my store had this, and it was also one of those boxes that seemed just the poster art seemed so intimidating and like just kind of like I think I'm gonna be freaked out by it as a kid. I don't know why I felt like that. And then by the time I was ready for it, someone had stolen it probably. You know what I mean? And it was already gone. It was a Lightning video clamshell. I really should have gone
Well,
with it. I would have loved it.
this actually it wasn't the video store that first introduced me to this movie. This played theatrically.
Oh wow.
And it was actually this is one of the films that played in my local theater. I lived in Springdale, Pennsylvania. There was a theater in the neighboring village, Cheswick,
The
and
quad.
the quads, the
Yeah.
Cheswick quads. This
Yeah.
played at the Cheswick quads, I remember. It might even
Mm.
be in this ad for this ad's from Pittsburgh, but
Wow.
I don't see anything from my neck of the woods. And then we didn't always make those starts today lists. But there was a review of it in the newspaper that I delivered, the Valley News Dispatch. And it was one of those reviews where they just totally ripped it to shreds, but you could tell that they had a good time watching it too, even though they said like don't go see this movie. It really sounded like they liked it.
I love this art. This art really sets up how surreal this movie is going to be. There's just like a floating head in the middle of a field with nondescript characters. This looks like what is that, Saturn in the background up at the top right? I mean, it's it.
It's sort of funeral home-ish.
Yeah.
Remember the ad for a funeral home?
Oh yeah.
That did not have a movie that did not have zombies in it, but sort of passed itself off as a zombie film, Funeral Home. This does have zombies in it, thankfully. Numerous zombies everywhere.
Oh, that's a classic. Wow, that starts today is gorgeous, Bill.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Those stars may have appeared in Drive-In Asylum a time or two.
That is beautiful. That looks kind of. I want that as filler art when I get tattoos. I'm going to get those stars.
So could you imagine? I mean, this was in the Cineplexes.
I can't imagine seeing it in the theater because, like, especially when you look at this with Americanized names, there's nothing in these ads to warn you that this is an Italian movie made by maniacs. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe the warning a little bit, but it's like ill prepared.
Yeah, it's sort of it's a shock.
Oh,
hopefully.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Talk about a fabulous triple. I think this was 86 as well.
Yeah.
This was 1986. Burial Ground had its own thing going, but then sometimes, probably after its initial release, it got picked up as part of this triple package with The Craving, which is actually Night of the Werewolf from 1981. Paul Naschy's answer to The Howling, American Werewolf in London. He also had a werewolf movie out in 1981. It had a lot more to do with The Wolfman from 1941 than either of those films. And it was called Night of the Werewolf. It played the United States as The Craving. And Sam, what is this movie? Guardian of Hell.
The Other Hell. The Bruno Mattei nun movie with a baby getting eaten in the beginning or thrown out a window in the beginning of the movie.
Oh, they must have seen Andy Warhol's Bad.
They must have, but holy shit! I also love that movie, the Severin Blu-ray of The Other Hell. The print for it was found inside the walls of a monastery where it was shot. They gave them a copy of the movie when they were done shooting it, and they're like, "We don't want this," and they buried it in the walls of their monastery where they shot it. But
that's like a Blair Witch legend.
oh, it could be total bullshit, but I don't want it to be. But man, I love that lineup. That is, in the Guardian of Hell poster, the artwork there with like, it looks like an owl kind of creature or like a Mothman-y kind of thing. None of these posters set you up for how fucked up all three of these movies are. And like, this is like, Bill, if you ever do another night of like movies, like I would just show these three movies at a theater, just like destroy people with all three of them. I'm so excited about this. How did any of these get an R rating? Like The Craving, maybe, but yeah.
No, there's really nothing in The Craving that's worth an R rating. I think it's just very gory.
Yeah.
It's a little over the top with the throat gougings and everything, and that would get you an R rating.
It's just because you
and
guys...
Burial Ground, of course, has scene after scene of graphic violence in it. Although, there's only one print of this streaming free online. It's on YouTube, and I think it's a VHS rip. I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah.
So I apologize for the quality, but I thought about it and I was like, this really is the way you should see Burial Ground, especially if you're seeing it for the first time. We had nothing but a shitty VHS transfer, and we fell in love with it. So why not you?
It's the same way I feel about Gates of Hell. Like the first time I saw it was on a really shitty VHS, and I think it's better. Like I love it more. Oh my god, this Bill, this is what I would cut out of the paper when I was a kid.
So you saved these too?
Yeah, I saved these two. I got to zoom in though because my eyes have grown a lot older since I was 5.
Yeah, I'm sorry I can't zoom in on it because I didn't realize there were.
I just know from the beginning, right? Like, let's just take a look at the Fairground, Burial Ground in Pieces. Is there a better double feature ever? Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't think of one. You're the Dragon.
How about Burial Ground Pieces and Zombies at the Gateway Drive-In?
I mean,
whatever Zombies is.
It's probably just Zombie, right?
I mean, I hope it would be, but it could be Night of the Zombies.
I think Monroeville's like, we're classy. We're playing Weird Science and Fletch. And then like Mount Lebanon's like, we're not.
I think MPM put out Night of the Zombies, so maybe this was an MPM triple.
Yeah,
maybe they're the ones that put out that triple feature.
That triple,
so I bet it was Night of the Zombies.
And at the Wexford Starlight's really cool too.
I know, that's hot.
You know what the Wexford Starlight is now? A mega church.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I would like to think that it's haunted by some kind of demons.
From one show to another. Mm-hmm. Look at the Kenmar Drive-In. It's Pieces, Burial Ground, and Boogeyman.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, Sam, can you see what's at the South Hills? Burial Ground, City of the Walking Dead, and Pieces.
Oh man. Oh God. Why did the world just not say everything's right here? You know?
We couldn't just stop right there.
We couldn't just stop here. What was playing with European Vacation and Repo Man? Come on.
Huh? Oh, sorry. I'll back it up.
European Vacation, Repo Man, and what's the third one there at the Greater Pittsburgh?
Oh, Police Academy 2.
Oh, no. With Zed.
Sorry.
I mean, come on. I saw that at the drive-in too.
I looked at the wrong one. At the Greater Pittsburgh.
Yeah. With Police Academy.
European Vacation, Mad Max, and Police Academy 2.
Why is Mad Max in between those two movies? That's amazing.
Was it Beyond Thunderdome? I bet it had to have been Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah, it was. Because you know what? I saw Beyond Thunderdome and Police Academy 2 together at the Spotlight 88. And I remember being so upset by Mad Max. I saw Road Warrior and that together. The second, whatever the second one is. But yeah, wow.
Whatever you call the second one, Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior,
Yeah.
etc., etc. There's Return of the Living Dead at the Cane Road with Year of the Dragon.
I actually was at the Cane Road. I saw the horrible movie. I saw the Brady Bunch movie there. Not one I'd like to brag about, but when Cane Road was still open, that played there. Man, someone just said, "Are there Driving Asylum shirts?" And I wondered it myself, and then I thought, yes, in this reality, there are. I have a Driving Asylum shirt on, so there have been. There may be again.
There will be again.
Yeah.
It's just a scary option for me because the last time I have to pay for them first. I have to buy them first before I can sell them. And I ended up stuck with a bunch of shirts, and there were all these people that are like, I want one. But I'll take another plunge. Maybe I should just do pre-orders. Would you guys be open to doing pre-orders?
Yeah, I think that would be a great idea. Though before we move on, I watched another movie I've been dying to tell you about. The Lock-In. I don't know if anyone in the chat's seen The Lock-In. Oh my God, this movie. First off, I don't think too many people are going to want to watch it, but I'll just spoil it for you. It's a Christian movie. It's about, have you ever gone to a lock-in, like where they lock you into a gym overnight or any of that stuff?
Oh, the lock-in. I thought you said the walk-in, like an appointment. You don't need an appointment.
No,
It's just a walk-in.
Yeah. They lock these kids into what do you call it? Into a gym. And one of the kids decides to bring an issue of Playboy that they found in a dumpster. And the issue of Playboy's cursed, and the demon comes out of it, and it shot like found footage. And because they've committed the sin of pornography, the demon kills everybody. Oh my God, this movie!
Wow.
Yeah, it's real wild. And they also interview everybody involved in it afterwards, so it's kind of like Blair Witchy, where they're kind of like, kind of getting through everybody, and it's like, it's really something. It's not something good, but it's something. So, I think you'll.
Jody says the link is weak. I have a good signal on my end, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But let us know if you're having a shitty connection tonight.
Yeah. Anywho, Bill, you also have shirts coming for the drive-in too, right?
That's right. Yeah. You can go to the Drive-In Super Monsterama Facebook page and order it.
I'm super excited to watch Silent Madness again. I don't think I gave it the right watchability the last time I watched it. So I'm excited to watch it. What movie are you most excited for the drive-in, by the way?
Oh, wow. Tough question. Well, Silent Madness, because I've never seen it. It's going to be a first-time watch.
Uh-huh.
And also Slumber Party Massacre 2. I don't think I've seen that one either.
I'm excited to watch that with you because I know you're going to love it, and I'm excited to watch it with you.
You already know.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I think, I'm excited for all of them. I really wish they play Prom Night 2, Hello, Mary Lou at the drive-in. I think that would really fit really nice into these ones. I'm a big fan of that.
I feel like we saw that there, but I guess we never did.
Yeah. Also, I know David is already aware of this because he texted me about it earlier today, but Vacation of Terror 1 and 2 came out from Vinegar Syndrome today. So like my Christmas came super early. 2 Mexican horror movies about horrific vacations. Movie with a bloody birthday cake, which feels like another thing I should start a letterbox list for. Movies where people cut into a birthday cake and blood comes out of it. That happens in the second one. Yeah.
You'd have to pay a lot for that if you wanted a cake that really did that.
Yeah. Do you think Bethel does that? Like Bethel Bakery or what's that place out in
the Lincoln Bakery?
Yeah. What's the place everybody always goes to out on 28? What's that place?
Oh, Oakmont Bakery.
Oakmont, yeah. Yeah, Oakmont's like, if you want us to put blood in it, you got to bring us the blood, or we don't just.
Oakmont Bakery is enormous. I went out there once. I always get my birthday cakes from the Lincoln Bakery in Bellevue, but I think one time maybe we couldn't get one at the Lincoln Bakery because they have weird hours there.
Yeah.
And it was just easier for me to order it from Oakmont. I couldn't believe that place. It was like a fucking supermarket in there, but it was a bakery. It
Yeah.
was just ginormous inside there. And, there was this huge crowd of people just waiting to buy some of that stuff
You
there.
have to get a number and they call it, and it's like
Yeah.
it's crazy how they do it. Yeah, David also brings up the sequel is called Diabolical Birthday, and it's some of the characters from the first one are in it. There's also a lot of singing in it, and one of the characters is a Mexican singer, so she has a major, like 2 or 3 really good songs. One's called Chico's, which is really good, and the whole movie studio that they're in gets possessed. They're both really. If you liked, we showed Grave Robbers. I think we showed Grave Robbers. If you like that movie, you'll love these movies. They're like, kind of like Burial Ground, where it's like, hey, Mexican creators are like, we can make these movies too. These directed video or these, VHS era horror movies, and this is their take at it. It also has a very beyond the door scene where a kid's playing with a car that's possessed, and everybody in the car on the road is actually getting thrown all over the road. So it's
that is very beyond. It's very beyond the door too.
100%. 100%. And I love that David knows on her name. Yeah, that scene, like we played that song, the Chico scene, so many times that we made Cubby dance to it because Cubby is Mexican, so because he's a Chihuahua, so he really vibes with Vacation of Terror 1 and 2, Vacaciones del Terror. He's really into it. So he also liked Infernal Rapist a lot. So he's weird. He likes Mexican horror. So
Matt, you asked what brand I'm smoking. It's a Drew Estate Acid line, and it's called a Blondie Bellicoso.
Wow.
I don't know. I really can't tell the difference between a Blondie Bellicoso and a Cuba Cuba, which is the kind I usually get. So I usually just, one of them might be a dollar cheaper than the other one. So I usually get the cheaper one. But this one time I decided to try again. I was like, I'm going to remind myself what it's like to smoke one of these. So far, I can't tell the difference.
Do you go to that one store that's out on that beer store? Is that where you get them from?
I go to a beer distributor in Westview.
Yeah.
Now, it's
I know right
in Westview Park.
Yeah, I know right where the one you go to. Yeah.
The guy that was working there had a Dawn of the Dead shirt on today.
Wow.
When I went in there.
When I was working for Iron City for a while, we did interviews at all their different beer distributors, and we were interviewing them like, why don't you drink Iron City anymore? And someone said, we got this one guy in there. He goes, oh, in the 70s, my friends and I used to drink Iron City all the time and IC Light. And the girl was with me, said, well, why don't they drink it anymore? And he's like, oh, honey, all my friends are dead. Like, what a way to end an interview. Like, it was like, wow, okay. And it was like, okay, we don't have any more questions. Thanks for participating in this survey. Good reason not to drink IC Light. How about that IC Light Turner's Tea mix that's coming out, though, Bill? Did you see that? They're having a summer shandy of Turner's Tea and IC Light together.
Turner's Tea.
Yeah.
Ew.
Can it be any more Pittsburgh if they threw some French fries in it or something like that?
Turner's Tea. I don't know. That's the kind of thing where it doesn't taste good, but I still drink it because it's so cheap. At least I used to. And then I stopped drinking sweetened tea. I only drink unsweetened tea now.
Oh.
I was like, this is really a dumb place to be getting sugar from.
They make a Diet Turner's. I've had it.
I know, but I don't like to drink diet stuff. I don't know. It just doesn't taste right.
My mom told me the other day that I have a better chance of having a stroke or a heart attack if I drink diet stuff, and I was drinking a diet pop while she said that, and I said, "Oh, really?" And just kept on drinking it.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I don't think it's good for you.
She's like, pilots aren't allowed to drink diet soda. I'm like, well, I'm not flying a plane, and
why?
That's where I started getting yelled at, and I was like, okay, so.
Because there's a chance of immediate death from drinking it. Why wouldn't they be allowed to drink it?
Who knows? I don't think of all the things that I've done. The diet soda. If diet soda is the thing that killed me, the power of diet soda is strong.
The power of diet soda compels you.
Yeah.
How about cocktail time?
How about
You want to do that now?
Let's do it. Let's talk to my robot form from Earth 2.
I'm kind of thirsty, so here we go.
It looks like we're making Easter eggs.
We're making
The holiday is upon us.
We're making a cocktail. This cocktail smells of death for the movie Burial Ground. And as you can tell, if you're going to watch Burial Ground, you're going to need this much cocktail. Just a warning. Crazy, it's the first movie. You're going to be trashed.
We're filming this video today. I want you to look at my kitchen. He says, we're going to make some drinks. I said, did we get out everything we own?
Yeah, the cabinet's a lot lighter than it was. So this drink has a lot of stuff. Let's go through the ingredients, right?
Let's go. Let's look at your cup first. What do you have in there?
Oh, we have some frozen blueberries to kind of give it a base.
Oh, like boba.
Yeah, that's going to be fancy. So what do we got in here? We got half an ounce of vodka, half an ounce of rum, half an ounce of Mr. Boston, which came from West Virginia during the pandemic when it was hard to find sour apple schnapps. Mr. Boston apple schnapps. We got half an ounce of blue curacao. We got half an ounce of Chambord. Keep thinking it's going to be gone. Chambord ain't gone yet. Half an ounce of blueberry vodka. Finding more drinks for blueberry vodka. There aren't that many. Half an ounce of orange juice. 2 ounces of cranberry juice. Frozen blueberries. Ice and a shaker. So pretty simple to make, right? Guess how you make it? You pour all this stuff together. Mommy, this smells like death. You'll hear that in this movie. So we got vodka, rum, Mr. Boston. It looks like Scope. It's not Scope, I promise you. The price Scope would taste better. I wouldn't recommend Boston. We don't have any viewers in Boston. Boston for tea parties, not Boston for mixers. All right, we're going to put in the Chambord. We're going to put in the Stoli blueberry. Then we're going to put in the orange juice and the cranberry juice. Get that all in your shaker.
The color is, greeny.
Yeah,
blue.
greeny. It looks like a zombie's face. This movie has some of the worst zombies you're ever going to see. I love it for that. It has also the dumbest human beings. I'm sure I'm going to say that during the show, but if I don't say it, some of the dumbest people ever heard Burial Ground. That's why I love it. Let's shake it up. Ooh, shake it up. All right, here we go. That seems pretty shaken.
Oh.
All right. I was watching, I'm like, I'm so weak. I can't even open that vacuum seal. All right, we got the blueberries in the bottom.
Oh.
Look at that.
Pretty.
Yeah. And now the proof's in the tasting. So let's say Pazuzu and get ready for Burial Ground. Let me take a sip here. Of course, we're going to pause it when I make the goofiest face. So. Pazuzu.
Pazuzu Robot Sam and Pazuzu Real Sam.
Yeah, I'm back. Shake it up. Shake it up. Anyway, that's my drink. And I got to tell you, Mr. Boston got poured out after that. Because I'm like, I think Mr. Boston's it was from a party store in West Virginia.
Wait, you think it was what?
I just don't think it was good anymore. I think Mr. Boston had lost its power. So I'm going to buy another apple concoction for next drink. But I drank that drink at lunchtime today. Like at 11 a.m. I drank that when we made the video. And then I went out and walked 2.5 miles. I'm going to tell you, maybe drinking 4 or 5 shots and walking 2.5 miles is as smart as drinking Diet Pepsi. I don't know. I'm not one for, don't follow my life choices. Just maybe movie choices. But yeah, Becca did that. Becca's great at doing those videos. And she said, what's this movie about? And I'm like, oh, well, the kid eats his mom's titty. And she said, why do you talk like that? And I said, I love you. And that's how it went. Bill, I feel like I'm in a Black Sabbath album cover with this type. This is the best type.
I'm going to go hang out at Nick's Muses.
Yeah. Man.
Although for right now, this cocktail is pretty good. I am not on brand tonight, sadly. I admit I did not make that elaborate drink that you came up with, which looked wonderful, and I was so jealous. But
we'll be making drinks for the drive-in, so if you come to the drive-in, let's see us hang out.
You are so good to us at the drive-in.
Oh. And so Chris is too. He always brings stuff too.
Yeah. He wants to get you wasted right away, though. Chris brings Chris brings like absinthe, and he's like, "Man, this is like 600 proof."
Yeah.
And you take a swig of it, and you're like, "Whoa!"
I remember the last time I went, I literally had like an edible, I had a beer, and then he's like, "Here, have some absinthe," and then I had 2 mixed drinks, and I was like, "It's like 7:20, and I'm destroyed. Like I'm gonna go sit in the car and sleep and watch movies." So yeah, I did it to myself, but yeah, I got some. I'm starting to come up with ideas for the next film, for the next drive-in that's coming up at the end of April. So if you're coming out, just like, hey, you don't have to say like a secret password or anything. Just say, hey, can I get a drink? Yeah, I'll give it to you.
We're usually always in the very first row, so you don't have to park up there. Just come up and sit with us.
Yeah, just come hang out. Hopefully it'll be warm, but I'm going to tell you now it's going to be cold. I'm just spoiler warning. It's going to be cold. Like it always.
Even if the day is warm, you're going to be wishing that you brought something really nice and warm.
Like a blanket that you made. You know, maybe.
You could bring the blanket, and there's a brand new blanket that's coming out from Pinsploitation.
A different blanket.
Yes.
Really?
That's all I'm going to say, because I don't really know how much Merle has alluded to this, but it's going to be pretty awesome.
I want a yellow Giallo blanket. That's all I'm asking. I want a yellow Giallo blanket to warm me up on cold Italian nights.
It would have been nice to have it Jallopalooza.
Oh. It would be.
Which was very cold and very sort of terrifying to see young children exposed to what have you done to Solange.
I was thinking that, and I know I brought it up before, but like looking into these innocent kids' eyes, knowing that we're about to watch a movie where an X-ray shows a knife between someone's legs. They're like, these kids, maybe you shouldn't have these kids. It's like my neighbor bringing out trash this morning. He has like the dinkiest trash, garbage can. And I said, we're getting 60-mile-an-hour winds tonight. And he was like, uh-huh. And I was like, I'm going to be picking that trash up for a week.
Oh my God. All this shit blew all over our yard.
Oh.
It was really irritating. Like, our mats on the front porch blew away. It was crazy.
Like, come on. It was a rough. I woke up to it. Like I took a little nap. I'm an old man. Took a little nap this afternoon, and all of a sudden I just heard that just the rain just splashing and hitting the window like that. And man, it was something else. Do you think they're going to have any themed stuff for the like food this time? They've done that a few times, like themed food that goes along with the movies. I don't know if there's any
themed stock and slash films.
Yeah. Like, didn't they have they had some kind of food one time that like went with one of the movies, I thought. I don't know. I get the same thing every time. Like pizza burger is the most trash. Like when you're eating a pizza burger, do you even care about yourself? You're like, I want all the sauce and cheese and pepperoni of pizza, but I don't like crust and I like meat. Could I have a pizza burger? And that's what they got. And
pizza burger
is great, right?
That I totally forgot about that. That used to be a school lunch.
Yeah.
Did you have pizza burgers at your school?
Yeah, we did.
They were it was literally a sandwich, but it was toasted. It was like a toasted sandwich hamburger bun, and in between there they would put like stuff like pepperoni and pizza sauce and cheese.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about pizza burgers until just now. I was really into that too. That was a good day when it was pizza burger day for lunch.
You should 100% get one with me at the drive-in, man.
Maybe I will.
A foot long and a pizza burger is generally like the good start, right? So yeah, I'm a fan.
Nick's Muse likes the pierogi pizza. I am not a fan of the pierogi pizza. I tried that. I don't know. I just wasn't into it.
I've had.
Did you like it? I don't remember.
Yeah.
You do like it?
When I got that one, it was like starch on starch, and like it needed like kielbasa or cheese or something on it. I think maybe they had run out of cheese. You know what I mean? It was just like just mashed potatoes on bread, and I was like,
I do like the concept of it.
Yeah.
I liked the concept of it, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I like all weird pizzas. Pickle pizza, love it. You know what I mean? Like I'm into all kinds of weird pizzas. I like Chris is giving everybody advice. I follow Chris's advice if you're drinking absinthe. Like I agree. I like that Mike's experience. Mike said, "Yeah, don't drink it because of Bram Stoker's Dracula." Right?
Yeah, there is an absinthe scene in that film.
There is. It also has my favorite Keanu Reeves dialogue ever when he says, "It is the man himself." When he sees him walking across the street when they're in London,
he's grown young again.
He's grown young again. Oh boy,
man, he's really awful in that film. I mean, Winona Ryder isn't really that good either, but Keanu Reeves makes her worse somehow. She could have.
You know what? It looks like a Mario Bava movie, and who cares? You know what I mean? It's like I saw it in the theater, and I was like, surely cinema will never be this good again. 22-year-old Sam said.
I saw that too, opening night.
Yeah.
From the front row of the theater. You know what that's like to sit there and watch a movie?
I saw Watchmen
sold out.
In the front row of the theater, and it was so loud. I felt like I was getting face fucked. It was horrible. And it was just so bad. I hated it. I mean, I hate that movie anyway. Just imagine being that close. I hated it. But yeah. Pickle pizza is real good. There's a place out here in Bell Vernon called Uncle Coco's, which is a horror movie themed. They also have a place in Washington too, a horror movie themed pizza place. Bill, there's a tar man when you walk in, like a painting of tar man eating pizza. Next time you come out here, we're gonna go there. And there's a Freddy eating pizza with the Pizza Freddy from the movie. They have a big painting of that too. And when I was in there the last time, they were watching Nightmare on Elm Street. So it's really a great place, but they have an awesome pickle pizza. It's really, really good.
I've never had pickle pizza. It does sound interesting.
They have a good one, and Caliente has a pretty good one. Caliente did one with Pittsburgh pickles when they were one of my clients, and we got to taste test it and work on the rest.
Well, what is it? I mean, what is on? Is it just pickles, or what is on?
No, it depends where they make it. I haven't had. I saw Nick's brought up the Spack Brothers one, but like when Caliente did it, it had like a white, like almost like ranch sauce, white cheese, and like instead of pepperoni, it has pickles on top of it, right? So it's good. So if you like pickle, like it's really cool because you have like the saltiness and the of like mozzarella, you know, and like the taste of that, and then like the pickles like cut against it. But it's like if you're going into it like, oh, it's not like a real pizza. It's like, yeah, it's pickle pizza. It's something different. Country style in Bloomfield in Bridgeville is really good too. They got one too that's pretty good. So yeah. So I like to if you. I mean, we've talked about it before on the show, right? If you like French fries and pizza, come to Pittsburgh. When you're here for the Drive-In Monsterama, you probably try like 6 different pizzas in like a couple days, right? But anyway, Burial Ground. Super excited. I hope everybody else is excited as I am. This is a big deal tonight. Both these movies are. I love both these movies.
There were a couple people that said this is going to be the first time they watched it, so I hope Burial Ground changes your lives exactly the same way it changed ours.
Yeah.
Burial Ground is the reason I go on. Some days I wake up and I'm just like, I can't do it. Then I remember Burial Ground. I'm like, fuck it. I can do this.
You know what, though? I feel the same way. Like sometimes the other day I was like, man, why am I doing anything? And I watched Black Cobra, the rip-off of Cobra that has Fred Williamson in it. And it's literally shot for shot Cobra. And I was like, fuck, the world's great. Like this movie, and there's 4 of them. Come on, there's only 1 Cobra, but there's 4 Black Cobras? Yes, there are. So, super excited. Life's great. I'm in a super jazz mood this week. I don't know if I got past the hard stuff. We're talking about pizza. We're talking about zombies. This is life, right?
This isn't just zombies. This is Burial Ground.
This is Burial Ground, yeah. And it's like, man, has Burial Ground played the drive-in? I can't remember. I don't think it has.
I don't think so.
No, it should.
It seems like a must.
I want a whole Italian night of movies that are going to upset people. Like whenever someone threw up during Zombie a couple years ago, which was amazing. Like you weren't prepped. You didn't know that eyeball scene was coming. I mean, it still works. You know what I mean? That's what's awesome. Like it still works.
So I posted the link on Groovy Doom, so you can go there and get it. It's on YouTube. It's like a shitty rip, but like I said, it doesn't matter because the genius of burial ground, it's better the less you see. Believe me. And I really hope you all watch this movie along with us. We're gonna end the live stream now, which if this is your first time watching, we don't actually show you the movie, but I posted the link on Groovy Doom and I dropped at least one of them into chat. It's on YouTube, so you can go watch it for free there and come back afterwards, hopefully, and we'll have a lot more to say about burial ground. See you then.